Scarlett Johansson wasn't supposed to be in the film. She was supposed to be the film. Wolves had Oscar buzz before a single frame was shot. A stripped-back, dystopian thriller from the director of Arrival and Nomadland. It marked Scarlett's return to serious cinema, her first lead since Marriage Story. One setting. No green screen. No viral stunts. A story carried by tension, not explosions. It was the kind of film studios don't make anymore, and exactly the kind she had fought to protect. There wasn't even a public announcement yet. No variety piece. No teaser. No tweet. But internally, the wheels were already turning. Table reads were done. The contract was signed. Costumes were being tailored in Midtown. And then, silence. No call sheets. No script updates. No explanation. Just nothing. Behind the scenes, something had shifted. The studio had taken a closed-door meeting. And in that meeting, Blake Lively pitched herself as the more relevant version of the lead. A little younger. A little glossier. Easier to sell. Because apparently, artistic integrity isn't enough for some people unless their name is at the top of the poster. The role hadn't officially changed hands. But Blake's team made sure Scarlett felt like it was never truly hers to begin with. And while no statement was made, the PR machine kicked into quiet motion, deleting tweets, clearing metadata, ghosting inquiries. Scarlett, a veteran of this industry, didn't panic. She'd seen cold feet before. But this felt orchestrated. Her reps followed up.
Twice.
Then again. No reply. Until one night, someone inside forwarded her an email. No greeting. No context. Just a subject line. Draft, potential PR pivot. Wolves lead. IT wasn't official. But it was real. The internal memo laid out what Scarlett already suspected. Legacy respected, but harder to rebrand post-Marvel. Consider Lively. Versatile, romantic lead potential, strong visual pull for streaming platforms. Then came the kicker. Potential Reynolds cameo, package Goodwill. Goodwill package. Like Scarlett was the problem. And Blake and Ryan were the solution. Industry whispers followed. Blake's team had been lobbying behind the scenes for months. No one would confirm it. But the optics were already shifting. One actress was about to headline a film she wasn't even cast in yet. The other was being quietly erased. Scarlett didn't go public. She didn't even tweet. But someone on her team liked to tweet, that tweet. The one that said, "Let people work." And the internet noticed. So did Blake. On May 3rd, Scarlett's team received a calendar invite. No explanation. Just a subject. Internal brand strategy alignment. Wolves. Time. 11:15 a.m. Location. Confidential. Scarlett wasn't listed. Her manager flagged it. "Shouldn't you be in this?" Scarlett's response was calm. "If I'm not, then someone else is." The meeting went ahead. Scarlett wasn't there. But someone else was someone who liked to record meetings for notes. An assistant. 2 degrees of separation. Whisper network rules. The clip? 11 minutes long. And somehow, it ended up in Scarlett's hands.
Airdropped.
From a bathroom stall. At Soho House, the first minute was boring. Metrics. Audience testing. Streamer alignment. But then, one voice, female, calm and polished. "If we frame this right, no one will even notice Scarlett's missing." The story becomes Blake's bold return, not Johansson's quiet exit. Another voice, male, laughing. "She's Marvel. This is art house noir. We'll say it's a creative pivot." Then a third. Low. Familiar. Controlled. "Scarlett's a professional. She'll understand the direction shift." Eventually, Scarlett watched the clip once. Then hit forward. Sent it to one person, and Hathaway. Suddenly, the silence cracked. Crew members who worked set prep weeks ago came forward. Her name had been on everything. Now it was like she'd never existed. And Blake? She wasn't just circling. She was in meetings, pushing for rewrites to suit her strengths. All before she was even cast. The movie hadn't changed. The story hadn't changed. But the face on the poster had. The studio wanted a modern edge. The algorithm liked Blake better. And Ryan had just followed the casting director the night before. Coincidence? Please, Scarlett didn't leak the tape. She didn't need to. She waited. Because if there's one thing Blake Lively can't resist, it's a spotlight, especially one that doesn't belong to her. So when Vogue announced its Hollywood Future Makers edition, celebrating women, redefining risk, the cover star was obvious. But sometimes, you can't control the narrative. Sometimes, the story leaks itself. One editor at Vogue, anonymously, off the record, described a strange request from Blake's team. Something about timing, positioning, visibility. A favor for Ryan's team in exchange for a cover push. But by then, Scarlett had already moved on. She doesn't need to fight. She doesn't need to beg. The audio exists. The paper trail is there. And if this town is good at anything, it's pretending not to notice until it's forced to so if Blake Lively wants the spotlight that bad, she can keep it. Just know someone was already standing there first. And she's not walking away. She's watching. Reinvention wasn't a request. Blake demanded it.
Not subtly.
Not behind the scenes. She wanted the slot. The cover. The story. Vogue. Not just a feature. The feature. Her team pitched it as a reclamation arc. A new era. Exclusive access to the drama behind wolves, the controversies, the rewrites. They even dangled the idea of Blake stepping in as director. The pitch had range, vision, heat, but it didn't land. Vogue's response was polite, detached, clinical. Thank you for your time. And then 3 hours later, they posted the teaser for a different cover entirely. Scarlett, the theme, silence before the storm. There she was, wrapped in shadows. Commanding. Untouchable. Beneath her name, one razor-edged quote. They tried to move the story without me. But I still own the ending. No names. No callouts. No direct fire. But inside the industry, everyone knew exactly who that was for, because Blake's team had pitched that story, almost word for word, and now Scarlett owned IT. An comment from Blake. No post from Ryan. Just silence. But then, one Vogue editor leaked a quote from the call. A quiet dagger dressed in diplomacy. We are looking for truth, not rebranding. That's when things stopped being petty and started becoming dangerous. Because while Scarlett had been shooting wolves, she was also attached to another project. A prestige Apple TV Plus limited series called Second Nature, written by a Sundance-winning playwright.
Dark. Literary.
Already greenlit. Budget locked. Scarlett cast as the lead. Production weeks away, and then gone. The script didn't leak. It didn't get hacked. It just vanished from the studio's cloud.
Poof.
Inaccessible. The writers panicked. Legal was called. A forensic trace was launched. What they found? Not a breach, a redirect. The missing script had been mirrored weeks earlier to a private review folder, sent, quietly, to none other than Ryan Reynolds' production partner. A confidential consultation, supposedly. For what? Because Ryan had expressed early interest in adapting the project for Blake, and yes, they found the notes. Too quiet. Needs more levity. Could be a stronger fit with Blake's brand. Maybe rework the lead into a more likable arc. The audacity, and one accused them outright. Of course not. That's not how Hollywood works. But the showrunner posted a cryptic Threads update the same day. Funny how silence is a problem until a louder name wants the role. No tags. No names. But a week later, Page 6 went live with a headline that screamed louder than anyone. Did Ryan try to recast Scarlett with Blake in Apple's next prestige hit? One anonymous producer was quoted plainly. We lost 2 weeks of production over someone else's ambition. The series went forward. Scarlett stayed attached. But when the revised cast list dropped, Blake's name appeared in the original consideration credits. A breadcrumb trail left for those who knew how to read it. Scarlett didn't tweet.
She didn't leak.
She didn't unfollow or subtweet or run to the trades. She wore a t-shirt, plain white. No brand. No embroidery. Just 3 words. I read the notes. The set fell silent. Crew whispered for days, because 2 days earlier, a production assistant had leaked a screenshot of Ryan's actual document. And yes, Too Quiet, Blake's brand, and likable arc were all in it. But that wasn't the end. The next day, Scarlett joined a Vanity Fair roundtable. One of those heavy ones, black gowns, chandelier lighting, Oscar nominees pretending they all get along. Halfway through, the moderator asked, "Have you ever had someone quietly try to push you out of a project?" Scarlett paused, looked down, smirked.
Yeah.
Once. Then she looked up, and I hope their notes came with a rewrite. The table laughed, nervously but not everyone across from Scarlett, and Hathaway didn't crack a smile. She just gave a quiet nod. Subtle. Steady. Because by then, everyone in that Vanity Fair room had already seen what happened with Blake's Oscar sabotage attempt, and now they were watching Scarlett handle hers. "I don't fight for roles anymore," Scarlett said calmly. "I let the work speak. If that's too quiet for someone, maybe they need a louder mirror." No names. No accusation. Just impact. By the end of the week, Second Nature was back on schedule. Scarlett's name? Top billing to Blake's? Never mentioned again, but someone else was about to say something. Emma Stone had been watching, too. At first, it was subtle. A soft like on Scarlett's t-shirt post. A quiet repost of the Second Nature crew photo. Then came the bullet, disguised as a throwaway line during a press interview for her Poor Things follow-up. A weird, art house piece critics loved and audiences didn't quite understand. She was asked about Hollywood loyalty, about how she chooses who to work with. Emma gave that signature shrug, that sideways grin, and said, "I like working with people who don't leak scripts. Or steal them." The room laughed. But Hollywood Twitter didn't, because if you've been paying attention, that wasn't a joke. That was a shot fired. Emma didn't name names. She didn't need to. Everyone knew the coordinates. Blake and Scarlett. This wasn't a pattern. It was a playbook. And the momentum didn't stop there. A photo leaked. But not just any photo, not a selfie. Not a backstage, snap studio lit. Controlled. Intentional. A table read. 3 women. No title. No press release. No studio announcement. Scarlett.
Emma.
And scripts open. Laughing midline. On the table, a single water bottle with a post-it note. Project Reset. The caption read, 3 women. 1 blacklist. 0 patience. People stopped gossiping. They started connecting to Scarlett's shirt, Emma's quote, and nod. Reese's earlier side-eye in that Variety panel. This wasn't a feud. This was a counterstrike. And the worst part for Blake, she wasn't invited. Not to the movie. Not to the moment. Not even to the rumor. Hollywood doesn't play fair. But now, it was playing loud. And the woman Blake had quietly tried to erase, she just started appearing in rooms Blake didn't even know were being booked. It should have been a routine meeting. A branded Zoom call. Just Ryan Reynolds and a few Netflix execs. On paper, a check-in about Wolves. Talk of the edit. Streaming rollout strategy. Festival submissions. Then someone shifted the energy. A junior exec. Young, direct, clearly not briefed on the Blake damage control script. Asked the question no one else dared to voice. "So, do we have a plan for the Scarlett thing? Because people think your wife tanked her." Silence, then a cough. Ryan leaned back in his chair, forced a grin. People believe a lot of things. But the tension didn't break, because another voice, older, sharper, higher up, cut through. "The problem isn't what they believe," the senior exec said. "The problem is who's getting louder and who's going silent." Then came the part no one wanted to say out loud. "If this gets out of hand, Wolves is going to look like the scandal, not the movie." In 2025, Ryan didn't answer that one, because he couldn't. Not when articles were already circling about Project Reset, not when fan threads were openly mocking Blake's sudden PR blackout, not when Scarlett's legal team had just submitted a quiet but pointed request for a clause review, specifically around breach of contract. Translation: Scarlett wasn't just done playing nice. She was preparing to move. Not loud. Not public. Strategic. A tweet made the rounds. Hearing whispers Scarlett's reps are drafting breach language. "You don't hire that firm unless you're serious." Top reply: first Stan, then Emma, now Scarlett. Blake's PR wall is cracking. And just to twist the knife, that same night a leaked test screening report for Wolves began circulating. The verdict: Scarlett's performance. Feral, restrained, Oscar-ready. Ryan's fine. That was the word, fine, not bad. Not brilliant. Just there. Ryan didn't tweet. No clever story. No viral GIF reaction, nothing. Because when the internet turns on you, silence isn't strength, it's feared. He'd always believed PR was noise, but now the silence was louder than anything he could say. Blake Lively, on the other hand, had a plan. She always did. When the rumors stopped sounding like rumors, when Scarlett Johansson's name started trending next to sabotage, Blake did what she knew best. She posted. Not a denial, not a statement, a glossy black and white carousel, just her and Ryan, some soft focus. Wolves premiere shots. Coordinated, curated, calm. The caption? Love.
Art. Focused.
That's all that matters. No mention of Scarlett. No context, just polish. But what Blake didn't expect was for the top comment to explode. Crazy how she's the only wolf in a film that's not about her. Pinned reply. Imagine getting called out by the genre. By end of day, the post vanished, deleted quietly, no explanation. But the screenshots lived, and then came the clip. A respected but low-key YouTube film analysis channel dropped a timeline breakdown. Side-by-side promo receipts. A slow unravel. March. Scarlett and Ryan announced the project. April. Rumors of on-set tension. May. Blake quietly added as a marketing consultant. Soon after, Scarlett vanished from promo. The final line of the video hit like a gavel. It's not about whether Blake Lively blacklisted anyone. It's about the fact that every woman near her has to fight to stay visible. And that's when the conversation changed. People stopped asking if Blake did it. They started asking who's next. Even Blake's own fans didn't jump in this time. One comment summed it all up. I love Blake, but it's giving Regina George with a Pinterest board. Reply. Barbie didn't break her. This might. Scarlett didn't respond. She didn't need to, because Blake had tried to launch a comeback, but all she got back was silence. Not the quiet kind. The kind that means the room has already moved on. Blake Lively wasn't the hero anymore, she was the headline.